Well, welcome back to Cityline. With me, she is amazing. She cooks. She's the executive director of Symphony Tacoma. She plays an instrument. She has a beautiful cats, and she has a loving husband. I'm talking about Karina Bharne. Hello, my dear. It's good to see you.
Hi, Amanda. It's good to see you too.
Oh my gosh, do I miss you?
We miss you too.
Yeah,
We miss a lot.
I'm constantly looking at what you're doing, and whenever Sarah's driving across the country, and I'm talking about Sarah Ioannidis, who is your conductor and maestro, I'm always
Back.
jonesing. I'm jonesing for Symphony Tacoma news. So, how has Symphony Tacoma been faring during this pandemic?
We are doing well. And I am the first person to admit that I was one of those people that thought COVID would last for 2 weeks and we would be done. But our finance manager, Denise, said, this is probably going to go into the fall. And I thought she was crazy, but you should always listen to your finance managers is what I've learned. But we've quickly had to pivot everything that we're doing. We've had to make sure that we've had programming out for our patrons, and we've had to really reimagine our fall season. So I think for us, it's just a time of new, and honestly, we're pretty excited about it.
I love that. So that you gave me the perfect segue into this next question of, now that you have reimagined this, what will the season look like in October? And beyond that, what's the prediction for performing concerts later on?
Well, as of right now, our fall season is moving virtual. We have decided to have programming 3 times a month, and we created 3 different series. So the first one is our Facebook Live. So this is interviews with Sarah interviewing our guest artists, our musicians, and as well as members of the community. So that will continue once a month. And then we're also rebroadcasting previous performances that we've had with Symphony Tacoma from our archive. So that's our Encore series. We did our first one about 3 weeks ago, and it was a great success. So we're excited to do those again. And then our last series is our Interludes Series, and we're actually recording one today. I'm here at University Place Presbyterian Church. And our first program is called Dances and Goddesses. It features Jennifer Ryan on flute, Catherine Case on harp, and Denali Williams on percussion, as well as Tacoma City Ballet dancer. So it's a big collaboration, and this is our chamber music series. So we're having about 6 players or less in a studio. We are recording, and then we will release everything out on YouTube. Everything is free. Everyone is welcome to join us, and we would just love to see everyone there watching us on YouTube.
Oh, I love that. I'm there. Good party to be had. I'll have to think of a dish to make, and eat it while I'm watching this, because food and music goes hand in hand with me. So let's talk about, it'll be so healing to see Symphony Tacoma musicians performing again, because it feels like normal, and that's what we're all craving right now. Can you tell me a little bit about the Interludes series? Because it sounds very mystical.
Ooh, yeah. So we're here at University Place Presbyterian today, and the goal of this series was to create new content and new things for our patrons, and also in different types of groups that we haven't normally used. So normally when you come to Symphony Tacoma, you see the full orchestra, about 70, 80 players, but we also have several chamber music groups within our orchestra that not everyone gets to see. So the first one that we have, like I mentioned before, is our trio featuring flute, harp, and percussion. The next one that we're doing features your favorite, 2 of your favorites actually, Amanda, Sven Roning as well as Thane Lewis. And Sven will be doing the 4 seasons with a string quintet. So it's going to be great. We're recording that at Tacoma Arts Live's Armory. So we'll be having a really great venue for that one, a lot of interesting lighting. And then the last one that we're doing is a holiday concert featuring our brass quintet. So it's a lot of great things, a lot of moving pieces that we have going on right now, but everyone should be excited about some new content that we have here on YouTube. Now, the best part, in my opinion, that you actually get to interact with us when we do our premieres on YouTube. So both Susan, myself, Sarah, and others are just making commentary about our program, just putting in a couple of interesting facts that we have about each of the pieces. So it's a great way to interact with us while you're sitting at home. And YouTube, if you have a smart TV, you can just broadcast right up there. So you don't have to necessarily be watching it from your computer.
Oh, I love that. And when you mentioned the Four Seasons, I'm like, that is the soundtrack to my life.
Yeah.
Either that or Karina Bharne from Orff. But I mean, that is such a beautiful, beautiful piece. Facebook live chat. Boy, thank goodness for you guys stepping into the Facebook live chat. It's scheduled for September 12th. It sounds like a very interesting discussion. So what are we going to experience?
So we're trying to take current events that are happening around here in Tacoma and as well as nationally and bring them back to the symphony. So the first one that we're doing is Black Lives Matters and the symphony. And we'll have 3 guests on that one. The first one is our board member, Desiree Wilkins-Finch. She'll be joining Sarah, as well as Anthony McGill, who is a famed New York Philharmonic clarinetist. He'll be joining Sarah as well. And then finally, we'll be featuring composer Richard Danielfor, who wrote From the Mountaintop, which was a piece that was written for Anthony. So we're trying to bring everything back together and just talk about current events and talk about, kind of the symphony's role in this whole thing. So I think it should be a great chat. That one is probably going to go about 45 minutes because we have a lot to talk about, but we would, again, love to see everyone there.
It's interesting you just mentioned that because in my brain, when I think about Black Lives Matter and that second pandemic, as Pam Duncan from MDC says, I think about racism, discrimination as it happens, as it's been played out. Do I think about it with musicians? Not always. Musicians of color. I don't always think about that. So it will be a great conversation to have amidst the music of Tacoma Symphony about Black Lives Matters. Let's talk about virtual galas. Boy, that is the phrase on everybody's lip. And I think that you, Tacoma Symphony, are also going down that road. Tell us about it.
We are going down that road. Our virtual gala is a musical mask parade. Sorry, I was waiting for the laugh on that one. And it'll be on October 18th, starting at 6 o'clock. Our silent auction items will be available about 10 days in advance, and everyone has to register beforehand, but registration is free. We want as many people as possible to be watching, and we'll be featuring quite a few of our musicians. So we'll be doing a sneak preview of Sven's Four Seasons performance on that. And as well, Anthony McGill will be giving us a short piece of chamber music for our gala as well. For us, we have honestly a lot of auction items. We have a lot of silent auction items. And I'm just letting you know, Amanda, that there may be a delivered Indian dinner, perhaps catered by me for 4, that might be on the silent auction item list. Maybe. We're still trying to figure that one out. So for us, we wanted this gala to really focus on our people. We wanted to make sure that the people of Symphony Tacoma, our musicians, and everyone, of course, knows our staff and of course, Sarah. So we decided to really focus this one on us and our people and what we're doing in the community.
So I'm going to run and get my ticket because that Indian dinner is mine. So there we go. So you're also simultaneously, if that wasn't enough, Karina, from you and your team, you're always working on education programs for local school kids. So what is in the works right now, as it's September 2nd and September 9th is the first day of school?
So we have an amazing education specialist, Anna Jensen, who has great work in the schools, and she has so many contacts. So we've been, in communication with all of the teachers during the summer, just saying, hey, what do you need? Not what can we throw on you? What do you need? Do you need help? And we've had just such a great response. And the best thing about it is we've been able to contact districts that we normally wouldn't be in. So, places south of Tacoma, not necessarily Tacoma Public Schools, but and including Tacoma Public Schools. So for us, we've been able to expand our education programs, and we'll be offering master classes and individual coachings to as many kids as we can reach. So this is something that we'll be doing for the fall. We'll be just having conversations about what we can do for others, and just seeing what really the needs are in our community. So for us, it's a very exciting time, and we're just happy that we can be providing something for the kids in Pierce County.
Oh, I love that. I just had Carlos Antorno and Josh Garcia on from Tacoma Public Schools, and they are doing 100% their best, trying to get everything laid out seamlessly. So it's wonderful to have community partners like Symphony Tacoma come along and say, hey, we got this music piece over here. Let's partner. And as a parent who loves music and is also a musician, I can't thank you enough for that, because music heals, and that's what we need right now more than anything in our schools. Speaking of healing, this next phrase, you have a program called Eternal Light. Please share with us, what is the eternal light?
So that was the brainchild of Maestra Sarah, and she really wanted to do a community composition. So what we did was we limited it to 18 and under, and anyone can send in anything. So the thought was, just hear the phrase eternal light. What does that mean to you? And send us and just send it on to us. So people, we had kids in the community that were writing compositions for us. We had kids that were writing text. We had kids that were painting pictures. So all of this now we received, and now this is the most fun part. We get to compile all of this into a community composition, which will be released later on this year. So we were trying to involve as many people as possible, and we had a ton of submissions. So now we get to see, what do we do with all of this? So it's very exciting for us.
Oh, I love that. And I think that when you unveil it, there should also be a mural that people are painting to.
Yeah.
So I'll work on that for you.
And the phrase eternal light, just so I can throw this in there, it was a play on one of Mozart's pieces. So that's how we were trying to tie all of this in.
I love that. Karina, it's always so fabulous to spend time with you. Thank you so much for you and everybody who touches Symphony Tacoma in terms of breathing life and light into it and keeping it going. The more things that stay the same, I think the more hope that we have as our numbers are dwindling and we're getting through this pandemic. So thank you so much. October 18th, that dinner is mine. Just remember that.
And can I just really quickly thank our season sponsor, Multicare? Just thank you for everything that you've done for us. So I just wanted to throw that plug in there.
Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It's always a pleasure to have you in my kitchen and to be in your home. We've given you some great things to think about in this past hour. So please continue to wear your mask and to wash your hands and to socially distance. But reach out to those you love, because we are going to get through this together. And I'll see you next week right here in my kitchen on Cityline. Take care.